Joining me now, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, Democrat from Michigan. She sits on the Energy and Commerce and Natural Resources Committees, and you're always welcome on this broadcast. In fact, let me make this observation. You have always struck me as a lawmaker who reaches out. You listen to both sides of your constituency. Is that happening, though, in Congress? I mean, what does unity in Congress look like when you may have members of your party saying, you know, we won, so this is an opportunity to push our agenda and not necessarily unify?
Yeah, it's always good to be with you. I don't think I've been on this year, so Happy New Year. But it's not been I thought we put 2020 behind us, and 2021's starting out the same. You know who I am. I'm somebody that always reaches across the aisle. Fred Upton, who is one of my dearest friends from the state of Michigan, and I talk probably 5 or 10 times a day. I work with members of Congress on both sides of the aisle, and I have every intention of continuing to do that. There are some members of Congress that are from my home state or people I've worked with on other projects who I'm very disappointed in some things they've done. I have gone and sat down and talked to them and talked about why I think it's bad for democracy and community. But the fact of the matter is we can't give up. We have got to. Joe Biden's words were music to my ears when I predicted that he would do that. He is the president of all Americans, not just Democrats. And that's what we haven't had for 4 years, quite frankly. It's time to pull together, and every one of us in the House and Senate has a responsibility to get our jobs done for the people that we reelect. They're tired of the partisan politics. They're tired of a lot of this whatever. And I'll tell you, as Democrats, Donald Trump got 70 million votes. A small portion of them showed up at the Capitol, and none of us will ever forget that day in history for our country. But a lot of people are just frustrated. They're upset. And we've got to listen to them, too. Now, Republicans have got to listen to Democrats. God gave us 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason. Listen more.
Yeah. You're well aware that the president signed a whole slew of executive orders in his first couple days in office, several of which Republicans are not very happy about. And while his speech did call for unity, is there one clear action that you would advise the president to take that all sides might see as a unifying moment or act?
Well, you know what really is bothering me more than anything? The very simple fact that a 100-day mask mandate can still be controversial.
Right.
It's so refreshing. I love watching Tony on your show. I've seen him on Dr. Fauci on a number of shows. For him to just tell us the truth, state the facts, not be afraid to hear what we need to hear, not what someone's going to tell them that they want to hear. But we know that masks save lives. Why can't we all just wear a mask and do it? We need to do it for more than 100 days, probably. But how did it become so political? That's the first thing he did that I say hooray for, and we should all lead by wearing.
I'm just going to throw out a rhetorical question. You don't need to answer. What do you mean, how did it become so political? I think we're all very aware of how it became so political. But let me talk about the increased security on Capitol Hill after the January 6th attacks. Metal detectors, they've been installed. And now Capitol Police, as you know, are investigating whether one of your colleagues, Congressman Andy Harris, set off a metal detector near the House floor with a concealed gun. It is illegal to take a gun to the House floor. Several of your Republican colleagues have been evading the metal detectors. What is your reaction to all of that?
You know, we're a nation of laws, and just because we're elected officials doesn't mean that we can avoid the law or skirt the law. You know, so you've been around long enough that you probably remember this, but I bet none of these freshman Republicans or sophomore Republicans even remember John Dingell. And John Dingell had his, for many years, it was a different time in the 60s and 70s, had a gun with him, and he slept with the gun until the day he died last year under his pillow. But he would never have gone on the floor of the House if there was a rule that said you don't go on it. And as leaders, elected representatives for people around the country, that is our responsibility. And the fear, the tension, the stress that's unfortunately on the Hill following January 6th, everybody's got to take responsibility and don't blame your staff person. Oh, my staff person forgot to tell me to take the gun. You've got a gun on you. You better damn well know that gun is on you. and you better know how to handle it. You better follow the rules.
I mean, no, not even knowing a gun's on you is pretty remarkable. Let me just ask you, because you are on the Energy and Commerce Committee, one of the president's first executive orders was to block construction of the Keystone XL pipeline. What do you make of that action? Because critics will say it's going to cost jobs. It could raise gas prices. Are those real concerns? And do the benefits of stopping the pipeline outweigh any potential downside?
So I think that it was an immediate signal that he's taking climate change very seriously. I know he spoke to Justin Trudeau when he had some issues, too. This is what I'm going to say going forward. I think it's and I do believe that we've got to replace that energy. We need to know how to do it. We're seeing it, by the way, in other ways. When we talked about renewables, everybody had fits about sun and solar and wind, and it's turned out to be much less expensive. We do need to diversify our energy resources, and we need to worry about global climate. But, you know, we need to have tables that have everybody at the table. I'm working on a lot of things with AOC and others. I'm working on the autos. Where are we going to take autos, electric vehicles? But labor wasn't at the table when they did the Green New Deal last time. I've got labor at the table. They need to have labor here. We need to bring everybody to the table, just like we need to bring Republicans and Democrats. Stakeholders have got to come to the table. And we've got to make sure we're protecting our environment, we're protecting jobs. It's not one or the other. And we got to really take this stuff seriously and look towards the future. I'll go to electric vehicles because it's all I've been living. We're going to need to go to EVs, but we haven't built the infrastructure, and we've got to build those batteries here, not in China or Asia. So how are we going to do it? Those are the kind of decisions we need to have, discussions we need to have, and Joe Biden's not afraid to have those.
Yeah. Before I say farewell to you, I'm just going to say you might be amused. I have a cousin who lives in Michigan who's watching you live and says she really is great about reaching out to both sides. Just thought you'd like to hear that validation there. Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, thank you.